this part. Hey, Delita. Maybe pick up on some of the questions that we had from yesterday. We were able to cover most of the questions in the chat. I still have some here that I wrote down. Leave it open to people raising their hands or making questions in the AMA for many years. Is and it always makes changes, and doesn't really announce them properly. So it seems like for the YouTube abilitate the fund going live on their platform. Here in the Discord, in YouTube, I found an option that multi-streams, including YouTubers. Anything you want to share with everyone before we go into answering questions and stuff like that?
No, it's all good. It's all good. Just carry on then.
Okay, perfect. So real quick, I'm just gonna cover a few questions that we didn't cover from yesterday. I have them here in a Google Doc. Let me just find where we left off. Okay, questions about the audit. Yes, we are audited. We've been audited by Solidity Finance. The idea is that in the future we will contact Certic in order to get an audit from a much bigger firm or a much more recognized firm, even though Solidity does a really good job. They really do deserve much more credit than I think they're sometimes given. But the plan is to also at some point maybe look into Certic, but of course that will require a greater amount of funds. A lot of questions about if it's the most appropriate time to be going into launching doing. We don't really think that there'll be that much issue. We have a very good marketing campaign going on. That is doing some really great stuff. I don't know if some of you guys have noticed that in the last 3 days, I think maybe went from like 6 to 5K followers on Twitter to a whole 10K. So they're doing a pretty good job, I'd say, in order to get this momentum going and get more get more gasoline on this bonfire before we launch. So right now, market conditions, we're not really that worried about the market conditions so far. Crypto itself is a very volatile market, so I think it would have to be an even greater drop than we're seeing right now for us to be actually considering relaunching at some other time. Plus, the team is always making sure to check the market, see how things are going. So if the treasury team at any point said, you know what, hey, the market's not like in the best conditions, we would announce it, and we would give you guys like our analysis as to why we think we shouldn't go through or how we see the market. But until now, the treasury team's just been like, man, go ahead. Market's acting in a way that's very typical of the volatility that you could expect from crypto. Yes, it is a bit of a bloodbath, but it's not a bloodbath that we can't recover, that it won't be eased over or recovered from in a short amount of time. And with that, let's just go ahead and take questions from the chat. If let's do an open mic session today and see how that works out. I have one hand raised here. Lebowski. Here, Lebowski. And let me see if. I think we can't give you the opportunity to open up your mic. Give me one sec. know, seems like what's going on? Mm. Yeah, Lebowski, would you mind sharing your question in the chat, man? Sorry, I don't know what's going on that it's not allowing me the option to give you permission to speak.
I think Blender is changing some settings. Probably if you try again now, drone might work.
Okay, now, Lebowski, would you mind raising your hand again, and then we'll take questions as they appear here, but I'll let Lebowski go first, and then everybody else will give you guys the chance to speak, depending on the order you've raised your hands. Okay, you go ahead, man.
Awesome. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I guess I'll just start off with congratulations on the project. And what's about to come. I'm pretty stoked up for what you guys are planning to do. I haven't seen this anywhere else, so I'll just ask it. Are you KYC'd with Obsidian Council? If not, do you plan on being KYC'd with them?
I am KOC'd with them. Yes.
Okay, so
I,
that's
I, I think this happened like around 3 weeks ago.
okay.
So I can paste on the chat their page of our KYC. Just give me 1 sec.
And just to give you guys like a clear understanding, Delita is our main dev. He's the guy that's coding everything. He's the guy that's setting everything up in terms of servers, in terms of executing the orders for airdrops, for making everything go live. So the person that has like, I think the greatest power or the most knowledge to affect the contracts themselves is the person that we have main KYC'd. I was planning on getting KYC'd myself, but that's still TBD because it is a large chunk of money that we have to pay for the KYC process. But of course, we want to first make sure that we grow the treasury a bit more, gain a bit more funds, so that way that hit that we take isn't that large, and also so that way we can use that money in the meantime for marketing and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. That makes sense. Yeah, that's good to know. I mean, I was quickly going through the channels too, and quickly did a keyword search as well. Nothing came up, but then I was led to to speak, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna ask it. And then my other question was, I'm an investor across various of these kind of auto staking protocols, obviously to Spear and stuff like that. I'm not busting anyone's balls or anything. I'm a bit of a pessimistic investor myself. I do love all of the projects that I invest in, and I do support them through the end. But my question, I guess, is, what sets Pragma apart from what already exists? What's the different functionality, or what's the different, providing that's going to come from the project itself in general, and throughout the life of it. I guess everyone else would also be interested in understanding what sets you guys apart. So, after that'd be, I guess, one of the last things I would be asking.
Thanks, Lebowski. Yeah, we get that question a lot. I think it's mostly been an issue on our part, not being able to communicate this effectively. But this might sound cheesy, but I'm giving guys this answer from, like I said, and not to blow my own horn here. I have a bit of experience. Well, not a bit of experience, quite a bit of experience in the private capital side of investing in small time entrepreneurships. I'm actually specializing right now in business development for early stage startups. But the defining factor I think would be for Pragma would be our team. And with a lot of startups and a lot of early projects, any sort of business model, the big defining factor at the end of the day is going to be the team, because you could do innovations, you could do something different, but or you could be the first to do something, but really at the end of the day is what you're doing in order to keep that it is you're doing relevant, or to make it so that way people, when they're using that service, they're having the most smooth experience possible. And I think that's going to be the main factor going forward with Pragma. It's going to be the team itself, the people we have behind it, the brains, the amount of brains we have working in Pragma is pretty spectacular. Sometimes I can't say who it is, just for privacy, but we have some people that have backgrounds in nuclear physics, people that have backgrounds in advanced engineering. Delita himself has about 20 plus years of developing in software, backend development and server maintenance. So I think what's really going to set us apart is that team and the activities that we're going to be realizing via the dividend. Most protocols that offer a dividend usually come out of the taxes that you guys are paying, or for example, Sphere. Sphere is using is using a model that is very good and it will be lucrative, of course, but it's only one a strategy, and we're not limiting ourselves to one strategy. You know, we're going to make sure we use all of the whole set of tools we have at our arsenal. You guys can actually check at the end of the website, of the basic idea of all the strategies we're going to be using for trading. But not only is it going to be the whole trading part, we have a lot of projects in development. We have a lot of I would say offers for you guys, including the vaults, some other things that are in the works. But the reason why we don't like to promote them, or we're not saying them out loud, is because they're very early stage right now, and we feel like there's no point in creating hype to something that right now we could probably
Oh
give
no,
you
it's
guys a
typing again.
teaser.
1 2 1 2 sound. Lebowski,
Yeah.
you around there? Drone, can you speak? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can speak and I can hear you perfectly. I think maybe this time it was just you. I don't think I've been disconnected so far.
Yeah, yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So yeah, like I was saying, I mean, right now
Okay, I
the reason.
think drone is having problems because I cannot hear drone.
Delay, can you hear me, fine?
Yes, I can.
Oh my god, this is the strangest thing ever.
Yeah,
What's going on?
Blender. I think Delita can't hear me, right? But I'm sure everyone else on the stage is being able to hear me right now.
Most people can hear you. Some people are saying they can't hear properly. I don't know if it's that many.
I don't know either. I mean, mine is coming through okay. Yes, now I can hear you. Okay,
Yeah, I
I
can
don't
hear you
know.
fine.
Okay.
Okay,
Thanks, Lebowski. I'll move you back to the audience.
Yeah. And just to finish up real quick, Lebowski's question. I mean, we're not making that much hype in these products that we're developing because we see hype as as a double-edged sword. If we create too much hype, we could create too high of expectations.
Blender, you trying to sort this out?
The only thing I can do is move the region for this call to a different place.
Do you think it's the same problem as yesterday with the region jumping?
It could. I fixed the region this today. It was set to Central US. We could try Europe, I guess, perhaps.
Wouldn't kick everyone out or do something weird when you change?
It would take a few seconds for everyone's audio to reconnect. Shall we try it, or?
Yeah, if you want, go ahead and
it.
let's give it a few minutes, guys. Sorry, technical issues.
Very loud keyboard going on.
My apologies. Right, the server is moving to the Netherlands. Let's see.
Is there anyone?
How to get tomorrow? Like, what's the shortest path to success for the project with these decks? And then I'll ask a question if you don't. What's the shortest path to success tomorrow when you guys release, or is it Thursday? For us to get into the project, to get involved in the DEX, like there's going to be a swap involved. Like, what is the blockchain that you use? The basics, just to reiterate to the new people here.
Loud and clear.
Hey, Jerome, let me know if you would like me to proceed with my next question, unless you have more to say about perhaps the technology, like which blockchain you guys are using, how to obtain your token. Thank you very much, Tron. Yeah, so now in terms of investment, and I know you guys are working hard to be, validated or verified from a technical perspective, but also from a legal perspective. Like when you look at it from an investor's perspective, where do you guys operate from, and what kind of legal entities have you set up? It does. I thank you very much, and I'll now yield to someone else. Thank you, Drone, and good luck tomorrow. Good luck on Thursday, at least.
Hello. Yeah, Discord. It seems like Discord's been having some problems today. This is my third AMA today, and they've all been having issues in some way or another. So I think it's Discord that's been caused. Multi-stream. It's all good. Yeah, well, I mean, whatever you got to do, really. I mean, streaming's obviously a pretty important component to promoting these projects and even just communicating with the community, right? So, not saying you guys did anything wrong. Discord's just been being a jerk today. That's all. Yes, certainly. Okay, so I've got a couple of questions here. So, just reviewing the contract and stuff. One of the concerns that I've sort of heard echoed through a few different channels and just different community members and stuff is the blacklist function that you guys have sort of left in the contract. Now, obviously, there are a number of reasons why this could be a good thing, as well as a number of reasons that this could be a very bad thing. So, can you maybe give a little bit of insight as to why this is something you guys have chosen to leave in the contract? And, if this is something that's going to be changed in a V2 or anything like that. Mm-hmm.
Hey, yeah, the problem with Delete right now is that he can't hear you, but he can hear everyone else.
I can hear everyone, but not Drone. It's crazy.
So you can hear
So,
Sas's
Delete, you
question.
can't hear me now?
I can hear you, says Capo, but I cannot
Okay.
hear Drone.
So John's not speaking. So
Okay.
if you'd
Well,
like to
maybe
answer.
should I just ask my question again then, or?
Well, you ask about the blacklist, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I decided to leave it there, and this is it's totally like if you think about it, it's totally trivial, and I know that people are putting money on it and might be worried, but I read that some people were playing around with Titano, and Titano did blacklist some wallets. I'm not sure if this is still the case at the moment. At the beginning of the after they launched.
From what I heard, it was just like a whale was draining liquidity, and they blacklisted that addresses. Which, I mean, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. There's there's good reasons and bad reasons, and it's kind of a gray area, right? So I guess I'm just trying to get your guys' sense of like where you stand and yeah, basically.
Well, what I can say about security is that all this KYC thing changed the paradigm of everything, because when I start writing the code, I will start going to say, okay, if someone go and read this code, this person will see that it's unruggable. The code is completely sealed and tight, There's nothing in there. But then all this KYC thing changes because I decided to not use, like, I've seen other codes and no one's using it, but I decided not to use the proxy function that allows us to upgrade the contract. I'm thinking, like, come on, I'm KYC'd. If we are planning to rug, something really bad will happen with me and with the team as well. I think the
Right.
security won't be in the code itself. The security is in the KYC now. So the idea will be like, for example, if I make a V2, I'm not sure if I will do it, but I will think about it, saying like, okay, maybe I will add a proxy contract there to make my V2 upgradable if I need it, because the trust will be already there. I hope if we get to the point that we make a V2, like the trust will be already there. People will trust us.
Right.
And if there is something wrong in the code, it's easy for us to maneuver and change. It's like we started like with the Solidity Finance check with the KYC to prove that we're not planning to do anything wrong. We're not planning to run out with the money, because we cannot. I can say I cannot. That's the thing.
Right.
So, well, that's it.
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing, like, just for the blacklist, for me personally, like, it doesn't, I'm a pretty savvy investor, and a blacklist function in itself is like, just like you said, the KYC is what provides the security. So for me, the concern is less so the security, but just so like how it's actually going to be used and what the consequences of those actions would be, like in, Titano's case, for example, right?
Yeah. Oh, we don't plan to use. That's the thing. We don't plan to use. We just left it there. And
is that
that's
for
it.
like audit reasons, or?
Well, the audit came. The first version of the audit didn't come with that, and then the second version came with a warning. The two warnings: the liquidity one, which, yeah, at the end of the day, everyone has to trust us because we will generate the liquidity tokens and we'll have them, and the blacklist one.
Right.
But yeah, all the rest is like, it was totally fine. The audit is like, yeah.
Right. Cool. Yeah. Well, that answers that question. So the other question that I have is just more so regarding utility. So, like sitting at a 200K plus % APY, it's starting to get up there as far as, questions about sustainability and such. And so I think for a lot of these projects, the question of sustainability really revolves around like, how is the LP going to be used, and then B, what utilities are going to be brought forward to help sustain the protocol, on a long-term basis, and help sort of keep, I guess, investors in holding positions rather than just selling off after the initial pump and such. And I know you guys have touched on this, and you're pretty sort of confident in that the price isn't going to just dump at launch. But I mean, at the end of the day, between bots and investors, like, no protocol really has control over this. So yeah, so I guess the question is twofold. So first of all, how can you make a claim that the LP is going to be large enough to sustain the price without having a major sort of dump, and then B, how is the APY going to be sustained on the long term, and what would the utilities look like that are on the docket for that?
I am waiting to see if Drone is going to unmute and
Sorry,
say
I'm
something.
asking like really tough questions too, so
Yeah, because I cannot hear Drone, so I will mute
project.
myself. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh no, the same problem from yesterday. Oh dear.
Discord, man.
Oh dear.
Is there another round? It happened again with him.
Yeah, it seems like.
Okay, let's see if Drone's back and he.
Hello.
Oh
Hey,
yeah,
there
I
we
can
go.
hear you. Finally.
Caveman discovering fire. Technology work.
Wonderful.
So I think obviously the APY, if you look at it from a typical financial standpoint, anyone would be like, whoa, that's not sustainable. That's impossible to hold. And of course the main way we're going to be able to hold that APY is by, as you said, keeping investors interested in the project and avoiding people to just simply sell off, and finding ways for them to actually be incentivized to hold Pragma. And the longer they hold Pragma, of course, they'll be having more Pragma, and then that more Pragma equals that they have greater benefits. So the idea is that we're going to be all of our products that are going to be coming out, they're going to be conditioned by the Pragma you hold, and they're going to have tier systems. So these tier systems are going to have greater benefits depending on how much Pragma you hold in total. So of course, this can either be because you're a whale and you can buy a lot of Pragma at the get-go, or you've been a long-time investor. So that's sort of the way that we could probably calculate into the formula, or into the whole process, how much time people are holding it, and of course, the weight of how much the time is affected. The weight of how much this is affected, of course, is reflected even more on that on the APY. So it's like a person that's been holding for maybe half a year or a year isn't going to be the same as a person that's going to be holding for a year and a half, 2 years. Of course, the difference, because of the exponentiality of how the APY works, is going to be much greater. And the idea is that those long time holders, we can reflect. We can reflect that in the protocol or in the products, in the tier systems. We can have a way to sort of know how much time they've been holding or how much they've contributed, because if they haven't contributed with a large amount of capital, at least they've contributed in the other sort of capital that's very important in this space, which is time. So the products that we're going to be offering, for the first, we're going to be offering the Quantum Vault system. That is going to be multi-asset staking. It's going to be a fixed rate. We'll be giving you guys more information as it has a bit more of form to it, because right now we're still discussing a lot of its functionalities, how we're going to be calculating the tier system, how we're going to be calculating how the rewards are going to be given out, and of course the big one, and I can't stress this enough, is the dividend. The dividend that we're going to be giving everyone is not going to be a Pragma dividend. It's not going to be a dividend that's going to be coming from the fees we collect from the taxes like some protocols do. And I've been saying quant trading a lot in these spaces. I've been saying a lot that the traders are very experienced, and this isn't marketing, and even that sounds like it's marketing. But the people we have experience of 30 plus years, 10 plus years, 5 plus years, and not just in traditional trading. A lot of guys started off with trading stocks. A lot of the people that we have, as soon as crypto hit the market, they started trading crypto, or they've been trading crypto for quite a while. And we have a varied amount of strategies to not only trade but also invest the treasury. So the way you guys could see it in the end of the day is that the treasury, we're going to be giving out the 10% dividend, and the reason why it's going to start off like sort of small, and this 10% is based on the growth. So the difference between this month's size of the treasury against the last month's size of the treasury. So of that difference, 10% is going to go into a dividend, and that's going to be rewarded to the holders. And the reason why we're doing this, or why we're starting off small, is to give more room for reinvesting those actual gains we make from the trades or from the rewards. Because if we do that and we keep doing this, we get sort of a compounding effect on the size growth of the treasury. I was actually talking about it in chat the other day. So as time goes by, and of course, the longer you hold Pragma, and the more we reinvest those earnings, there will be a point where maybe the percent that we're giving out in terms of the growth hasn't changed, but because we've done such a diligent job of making sure we don't give out all the growth of the treasury, only a small bit, the treasury grows and grows and grows, and it grows much faster. And before you know it, with the size of the treasury and how much Pragma you're holding, you could be seeing some very large dividends being given to you in the form of either Phantom or USDC. That's still to be determined, but they're not going to be dividends that are given out in Pragma. They're going to be given some sort of blue chip token or some sort of stable asset. But I think that's really going to be the greatest point of Pragma, and that's actually like that was the selling point that got me on board with the project, because me and all the guys share another Discord that is mainly focused on sharing ideas or sharing knowledge in terms of quantitative trading, formulas, how to use a specific coding language such as R, MATLAB, etc. And I can tell you guys, like, being an outsider and suddenly jumping into this Discord and seeing the type of things these guys can do can leave you really starstruck, and can really open your mind and to think like, hey, I thought I was a trader. I thought I knew how to trade. I thought I knew how to read charts. These guys are on a whole different level, giving you tips and tricks of you know what, no, don't use regular price, convert it into a logarithm, and then that logarithm do some sort of derivative to make sure you get a different setup. It's really impressive, the stuff that the guys can do. So right now, I wish I could give you guys some sort of, some sort of booklet, some sort of history of what their trades have done. But because of, their actual abilities, some of this stuff I can't really share, because some of these guys are also managing funds for other people. So it would be sort of, like sharing privileged information or information that really can't be disclosed because of the ongoings that they have with these people that they're managing their funds for.
Right.
But rest assured,
So,
I mean, at the end of the
just
day,
essentially what I'm hearing though is the utility of the protocol, and how you guys are intending to sustain this arguably unsustainable APY is by growing, the treasury through different investments exponentially, in conjunction with the way that the rewards from the APY would also grow exponentially. Is that kind of roughly what you guys are thinking to do initially?
Yeah, more or less. I mean, of course, also and Delita, you can correct me on this. The APY can also be adjusted, but this is going to be only possible once we have the DAO system in place.
Right.
If the community itself says, you know what, we would rather change the APY, then we could do that. But the idea is
decrease function in there. The decrease function only allows you to. It will be manual if you agree to call it, but it only allows the rebase rate to goes down, not to go up.
Right. And so you guys are going to sort of call a vote and sort of gauge that, down the line when the time comes where the rewards are sort of getting to a point where it's like, okay, well, we're now sort of questioning if this is, because I know like the whole idea with these APYs for protocols that are thinking long term and that aren't just like, oh, we're just like a rebase token and that's our only utility, is like you're trying to bootstrap liquidity. Now obviously the pre-sale went really well, and like you guys are close to what, 4M, I think, if I recall correctly. And obviously that once the product launches is gonna influence the price action and all that, right? So but when it gets to the point where the rewards are just like so massive from people who have been holding for a year plus kind of thing, I think that's sort of where people really, with any of these rebase protocols, are concerned, is just because you can't pay out $1 billion for somebody who bought 50K a year ago on a protocol that's even got a $10 billion market cap, right? It's not doable. So anyway, I think you answered my question. I guess from what I'm hearing, you're going to be operating sort of like a DAO. You're going to vote on the APY as far as reducing it down the line when the time comes. Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
Yeah, that's the other part.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, man. I think those are sort of my main questions. And then I guess just regarding utility, is it all going to sort of revolve around how things are going to be invested and just like the monetary sort of model, or is there going to be any utility like around sort of like GameFi or any of that other kind of stuff?
We're planning on it, but I don't want to talk about or give specifics on those because, again, hype. We feel like hype is a double-edged sword, and we don't want to create expectations that we might not be able to meet later. And because a lot of the things that we're thinking are like very early stage. They're in the idea phase where we're talking about it. We're we're changing it up, but there are a lot of ideas going around the team of how we can add greater utility, not only just by the products or functions that the token can offer itself, but the project or the DAO, and in terms of the partnerships it can do. So all of that is in the work. We're talking about it, but again, we really don't want to just go out and
Oh
say that
yeah,
we're
I
doing
feel you
this.
for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I think some of them are
Well-
on the roadmap, and some of them are omitted from the roadmap because they're big ideas. But of course, we want to keep them under wraps until we finally have something very concrete, and we can, like, once we announce it, we can say, "Hey guys, we're announcing this because in a month or in two weeks we're going to launch it, or we're going to make it live." So yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks for taking the time to answer my questions. Super bullish on the project. I'm definitely going to be sticking around and diamond handing this baby. So good on you guys. Congratulations on a successful pre-sale, and I'm looking forward to seeing the launch.
Great. Thanks, man. Thanks for your questions.
Thank you very much.
And for your for your cheers. Awesome. Now let's move on to the next person in the queue, which would be Crichton.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, what's up, man?
No.
How you doing?
I have a question about APY and stuff. As you see in like other projects like Sphere, like they're hinting a APY based on volume. Like they've been saying like 3 months. I think, yeah, they can sustain it for 3 more months, but if they were sustaining it for a whole year, it would have to have like $100 billion market cap with current volume and everything. But like they want to have a volume based, like, I mean, APY based on volume. Is that ever an option, or is that in the contract? I don't know how those work.
It's the first time I heard about it. So
Yeah,
will
it's like
they
a,
reduce?
it's like an
It will vary the APY?
like
Like,
kind of, yeah.
okay.
It's like a
No,
variable APY based on volume that can
Okay.
actually support it. You know.
Okay, we never I don't know about that. So we at the moment we have a fixed APY with the ability to decrease the APY in the future, and our
Yeah.
products will go into two categories. One category is to give utility, and then we will try to get Pragma out of the market by giving a product or service, and then we get that Pragma and we burn. And the other type of product that is the vote, for example, is to take this Pragma out of the market, in the sense that the person who will put the money in the vote or stake the money in the vote will not be spending that money. So we temporarily take out of the market. So those are the two ideas we will have. Every idea has to fit one of those. We either give utility and take out of the market by giving a product or a service and we burn, or we lock those Pragma by not allowing, but the word will be to the Pragma holder to not spend the Pragma. Drone, is that
Gotcha.
okay? Correct?
Yeah, good. Yeah, I think what I can also add on that is that we don't really have a function that would make that process automated, where it's automatically taking into account volume, and then based on the volume and all of that, recalculate the APY. But whenever we do decide to change the APY, from what I've understood from Flynn, who's taking care of designing a lot of these models, is that whenever it comes to a moment where, okay, the APY needs to be relooked at, a lot of conditions are taking into account to recalculate that APY, and then based on that, give the answer to the community and let them decide. But at the end of the day, we don't have an automatic function. We have a Flynn, which I think is a lot better at the end of the day. So really, a lot of the mechanics we have in play, like the buyback, any adjustments in APY, they're not based on automatic functions. They're based on I wouldn't say discretionary, because even then discretionary means that you're just basing it on feeling. No, but there is a whole market study. There is a whole market sentiment study, and to make sure that whatever decision we do make, it's relevant to what the market conditions are telling us at the moment, or what the market conditions or the price action of the product, the volume action of the project is telling us at the moment. So if we ever do reduce it, we change it, any sort of changes we do make, they're not just going to be like, hey, we're going to reduce the APY by 20% because we want to. No, there's going to be a proper study beforehand, to make sure it's like, okay, how much can we reduce it, or how much should we reduce it, and sort of find that sweet spot between sustainable and still maintain a nice APY. But when that time comes, we will be more transparent and more clear on how the process is going to be. But with the thing, like I said, any sort of numbers that you guys see on Pragma, they're not just pulled out of thin air. There is a study behind it. There is proper calculations to find that sweet spot of efficiency, with the protocol. So any sort of changes that do happen in the end, they'll be made by us studying how the market is going, making calculations, and then based on those sort of studies, we'll make a proposal for a change in the APY. But nothing really automated. I think the majority of things we are working on right now aren't automated because there's a lot of factors that are qualitative, and of course you can't teach a machine yet to review or to take into account those qualitative parts.
Yeah. Another question I have, you answer that perfectly, and I appreciate that. Another question I have is about will we have, I know automated stuff's out the door, but question, will we have a lot of protocols right now are using automated contract selling, where the contract sells to build liquidity and to build for the treasury, and also to make the red candles not as big when they do come.
You mean automated buybacks?
We have the buyback.
Automated selling. That's just it's a lot of protocols doing that right now.
No, we have the buyback. The buyback does that. So this comes out from all since Titano, when we collect all the fees, the contract itself runs a buyback. Yeah, it will create. Well, I don't know if it will create a red candle, because if the volume is very high, it will be negligible. But when I was testing,
I was meaning
on my little
I was meaning
coin. Go on. Sorry.
Fuck. Oh, my bad. Sphere has a Sphere Finance. They have a contract that sells it sells $40,000 at a time every time when volume is going crazy, right? And then that helps, and it goes straight to the liquidity and straight to the treasury, and it helps. So when the dumps do happen, the red candles are not as big, or it's weird how it works. That's just what they're saying.
I understand now. What you're trying to get at, or what I'm understanding, is that they hold
I was just
tokens
saying if y'all got
themselves.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, let me just see if I'm understanding clear what you're trying to express. So the treasury itself holds tokens. In this case, we would hold Pragma, and whenever we're at an all-time high and volume is producing that all-time high, it's safe to sell a big chunk of that Pragma that the treasury holds, and then whatever that is that we sold can go straight back into the liquidity. Is that what you're trying to get at?
Kinda, yeah. That's just how Sphere does it. I don't really know how all the technical stuff works, but that's just how Sim, or the owner, was explaining it.
Yeah, again, whenever it comes to price, the reason why a lot of things, because we're not against automated things. Automation is the best part, but when it comes to studying price or reviewing price, there are some limitations we have as sort of the analysis of price, that because we could do that, we could automate it, but imagine we're hitting a very large trend. And because the automatic contract says, hey, guess what, man? It's a trend. There's high volume. Let's sell. We could be killing or slowing down that trend, So it's
I was just making sure y'all didn't have that, because it really Sphere that's if there wasn't enough volume from the recent hype, I would have kind of jumped out of it, because every time we would go higher, the contract would just sell and just leave us lower. So it would just suck.
Yeah, no. Things like that, we're not living up to automation yet. I don't think we're at a point where not specifically the technology doesn't exist, but I don't think it's that easy to code in advanced mathematical calculations into a smart contract in order to take into account various factors in order to actually appropriately automate those processes. But no, everything, again, it's going to be studied by somebody in our treasury to make sure they're analyzing the market. They're going to be analyzing the price action of our token, and based on their decisions, based on what they're seeing, that's how we'll affect any sort of actual intervention on our part on the protocol or on the price action, buying, selling, whatever.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks. You answered all my questions, guys.
Awesome, man. Thanks for your questions. We're gonna move you to chat. Try
Thank
to
you.
speed things up because
Yeah,
we have
appreciate
like a bit of time left. If anyone wants to another question, I'm gonna add Boomer, and then after that, I think we're just gonna close it off and finish off with Kempel's question, unless anyone joins in very quickly in the queue. What's up, Boomer? Hello.
So Boomer. By the
I
way,
think
Boomer was our last buyer on the public offering. No, on the whitelist
awesome.
offering, by the way. Yeah, he was our last one.
Can you hear me?
Okay, awesome.
Yes,
Yeah, now
yes,
we can hear.
Boomer.
Great.
I was on mute. I'm an old guy, you got to teach me this stuff.
No worries, man. I think everyone's been dealing with the sort of, hey, I think you're on mute, but since we're not seeing you, I think we can't tell that you're actually there. So
You think after 2 years of Zoom I'd get the picture,
oh, trust me, I've seen people, I've seen interns in the company I work for, people with 20, 19 years old doing the same thing. So it's not a matter of age, it's a matter of just being attentive to what's going on.
All right, guys. I like your project. I appreciate your team. I think you got a good thing here. I look forward to being part of it for a long time. I recognize what you said earlier, that you don't like to overhype things. But I've found in projects a lot of times when the team has said that, they tend to, because they don't want to overhype things, sometimes they undercommunicate. And I would just ask that you guys keep a balance there. I mean, your primary tool for communication right now is Discord, and especially when things are exciting, there's a 10 Discord posts every second, and it's almost impossible for a layperson like me that doesn't watch it all the time to be able to scroll through 24 hours of heavy Discord to find critical information. So I just ask that you guys use your announcement channel or some kind of a read-only channel and post as often as you can important things, not just like big announcements, but if there was a good question and someone had, and there was a good answer that you think the community needs to know, I'd ask that you figure out a way to be able to get that to us without us having to scroll through 24 hours of congested Discord. Just a request. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, we can hear you perfectly. Just
Okay.
just all right.
Yeah, so just I'd ask that you please over communicate. The second thing is, as your team can attest, I had a hard time bridging into this project because I don't bridge very often. I do a lot within chains. I do a lot within Ether. I do a lot within Binance, a lot within Bitcoin, but I'm very inexperienced in bridging into new chains. And I think that with your upcoming launch in a couple days, it would be extremely helpful if you could put together a simple sheet that is a tutorial for people that they can get from your pinned Discord to see exactly the process, without using technical terms of how to go from one chain to another and what bridge means, all that kind of stuff. I think it'd just be helpful to your project since you're on Phantom, and a lot of people don't have Phantom. So most of the investors or the most participants are going to be coming in from other places. One of the other projects crashed Rubrik yesterday. And Rubik was my favorite tool. So now I really right now myself would have a hard time figuring out how to get Phantom without Googling it and spending 2 hours trying to figure it out. So if you could provide a tool like that, I think it would immensely help the project.
Yeah,
Just two comments.
Actually, Yeah. No, they're perfect. We've actually, within the public relations team, we haven't been able to do it much because we've been focusing on marketing and everything for the launch. But the idea is to, one is to restructure our white paper so it's not such a heavy read, and all of the like very important, maybe minute information that isn't required in an announcement but is important for you guys to have is up first. Sort of restructure it so it's more simple, more easier to read, more easier to access the information that you need. And I think that we could probably do that, make a read-only channel where we're forwarding questions that we're seeing popping up a lot in the chat. If someone's asking a lot, like what chain are you on, or how many gas fees, or what price, or whatever. If we see that a lot, okay, you know what, in the read-only channel, let's post the question and then post the answer. And I think we could probably do that. I would just need to talk to the Discord team so we can get that set up. And on your second point, I don't know if you've seen the announcements that we did like 2 weeks ago. I actually prepared a video tutorial on how to bridge your assets from any other network into Phantom using either a centralized exchange or a protocol called multi-chain, which is multi-chain is like using a decentralized exchange. Like using Spooky Swap, using Pancake Swap. You don't really have to do any big technical things. You just have to tell the protocol how much money you're going to send, what token, between which chains, and then the protocol itself will take from that transaction that you're making a small amount. For example, when I was doing USDC transfers, it would take 0.9 USDC, and that 0.9, it turns it into gas and it automates the whole process. And with that gas that it took that fee that it took from you, all that gas is taken into automating it, transferring from here, from there. So all you have to do is just simply, set the transaction and wait. And then after 3 to 10 minutes, the assets that you wanted to bridge are already in the other wallet. So if you haven't checked out the video, I highly suggest you do.
Yeah, and I used the video and I was very appreciative of it, and I was following it step by step, and then it hit a point that it jumped. There was an assumption made that the person knew how to do the next thing, and all of a sudden a new thing was on the screen. Said, okay, now that you're here, go on. I couldn't get from point A to point B.
Okay, if that did happen, if you want, go ahead and send me a DM of the specific part of the video where you got stuck on. And that really helps me out so I can, improve on where we need to be more specific or more detailed. And if that issue, I'll resolve it with you, and then I'll find a way that I can maybe add that into some other document, some other form, so that way, if anyone else has the same issue that you have, it can be clarified. But yeah, go ahead, send me a DM of the specific part of the video or the specific part where you got stuck. And I'll be very happy to help you out. And the same goes for anyone. If you guys have any issues, any problems, I might not be able to get to all of you at the same time, but if you have had any issues with bridging your assets, you can go ahead and ask me via DM, and I'll be very happy to help you out. I've been helping out quite a few people over the last few days. So yeah, my DMs are always open.
Yeah, and your team has been really helpful. Jumpman, Delete Us, they've been extremely helpful. I'm just looking at a way to scale that you can scale that so that if you have 1,000 people trying to buy on Thursday, you're not trying to answer 1,000 DMs.
Yeah, exactly.
Jumpman,
No,
sorry. Jumpman just became part of the team. No, thanks, Jumpman, for the help that day. Boomer, thank you. I was worried about between the whitelist and the public offering, because on the whitelist we had like 1,000 people to buy, and I had a certain amount of people DMing me and having problems. And then I was like, okay, on the public offering will be way more people buying, so I would expect way more people DMing me. And then on Thursday now will be everyone buying. So.
Actually,
that scaling is critical. I'm excited. So we appreciate your efforts in doing it. You guys are going to have some sleepless nights.
We already have. Trust me, we already have had a lot of sleepless nights. I'm actually like sort of going crazy right now because between my work and the project, I've been having more sleepless nights than I would like to. So probably after launch, and about a week after launch, you guys probably won't see me for a while because I'll be on some beach or somewhere, somewhere I can just disconnect and stuff because it's needed. But like I said, if you want, Boomer, send me a DM. Let me know where exactly you had that issue. And actually, Delita shared with me a very awesome tool that allows me to create a step-by-step tutorial that is simply images and text, and it's pretty
I
much
hope it works
automated.
with I hope it works with MetaMask.
From what I
Yeah.
saw, it does work, but even then, if it doesn't, I'll find some other way. But yeah, let me know, Boomer, what issue you had, and I'll find a way to make sure that it's the answer is made publicly, and that everyone can access it very, very quickly.
Great, thanks.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Now to finish off, let's go ahead and bring to the stage who was left. Pimple.
Hey guys, thank you and congratulations on the pre-sale. Fantastic job. Looking forward to see what else you're going to bring to the project. And it's not really about the questions. I want to just quickly shed some light. Someone before the Boomer, sorry, I didn't catch your name, will mention something about another project, Sphere, burning out when people are dropping it and all that. The guy who's behind the Sphere, his name is Sim. And guys, if you're going to reach out to him and ask him like certain questions, I can tell you right now, he'll be more than happy to help you out, walk you through like his contract and procedures, and we're all going to benefit from that basically, But that's just something to keep at the back of your head if you ever struggle with it. And, he's really open, he's really amazing person, and I can see those two projects working very, very well together. But yeah, that's it. Thank you very much.
Hello, I already had a conversation with him about the possibility of quantum liquidity as a service for us, but for now we're just focusing on our launch, and then after we have the LP token and everything is settled, the conversation will continue.
Well, fantastic. Well, priorities are priorities. Well, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations again. I'm looking forward to Thursday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, man. So if there are any more questions left, I think we can close up this AMA. Give us some time, guys. The recording of this, I need to, since we're recording it on Discord, I need to add some graphics into it and then uploaded it to YouTube. So maybe a day and a half before the recording is available for everyone to watch on YouTube. But yeah, thank you, everyone. Oh, I think we have one.
Then just do a quick idea of timelines, because people keep asking about the
launch.
Sorry. Yeah, no, about the airdrop, about the contract, all these things. So
okay.
The contract will come tomorrow. I will deploy to mainnet tomorrow and then the others will be public. And then after that I will be able to do the airdrop. And I'm doing the airdrop. I'm planning to do the airdrop tomorrow as well, in the evening in Europe, in at this time, which is it's 11 p.m. for me, in around 24 hours. Just everyone to be aware that when they get their tokens, until the listing, they won't be able to do anything with the token. So you will be able to hold your Pragma. You won't be able to move between wallets because everything is locked until the listing. When I do the listing, when the listing happens, then everything will open. Then everyone will be able to trade, to move between wallets. So just to say up front, like, guys, you will get your Pragma, but then you will try to do something with your Pragma. You won't be able to until the listing. Okay.
Hey,
just
awesome.
Just that's it. Like,
yeah, if you could give us in the staff chat like a specific time, and then maybe we can create an event, an announcement to let everyone know. For those that weren't right now here in the audience of the AMA, we can create an event, and give like a very somewhat specific time of when this might start happening. But yeah, so let's head out for now, guys. Any other questions you guys have, we'll be very happy to cover them in the chat. But it's been a bit of an hour, and that's about the time I can give right now because I have to get to work on some other things. But thank you everyone for your time. Thank you very much for your questions, for your participation, for all of your feedback. Of course, as always, any other things that come up, our chats are always open, and you guys can ask away. So thank you guys, and we'll see you soon. We'll probably have some sort of event during the launch. I don't know yet. It'll be very early for me, so I'll probably need lots of coffee. But yeah, see you guys on Thursday. Very hyped, very pumped. Thank you everyone that has participated in the sales. Thank you everyone for your support. This project has been very wild, and the whole experience itself has been very, very rewarding. And I think that's mostly been because of everybody giving their positive feedback and giving their good vibes off. So thank you guys, and catch you later.